morning and thank you for joining us today. My name is Alero Edu and this is Sunrise.
Good morning, welcome. I'm Ayo Makinde. Well, it looks like we're going to a party, right? Some colors, including the sunrise.
Oh dear. Well, we're all in unison today.
Yeah, and it's actually the color, depending on how you like your cocoa, that's the color. What?
Well, cocoa cannot be this color.
Cocoa can be this color. Cocoa could be, depending on how much you want it. It could be as light as you want, as dark as you want. It's just it. Perhaps one of the biggest news of the week we're still in. Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is the whole conversation about the president's certificate and all of those things. I don't even want to go into it because...
Neither do I, because, I mean, we've had so much. Our ears are full, you know, every radio station, every television station.
Every social media platform, please.
Talks about nothing else. I'm sick of it. We've had enough for 1 week.
So, can we just leave it in the remit of the courts?
Let's do it.
So, but another thing, well, there is also, still talking about, conversations, controversies about certification. Someone came around and was saying there is some kind of certificate racketeering going on in Lasu, in Lagos. That's the Lagos State University.
We don't used to call it racketeering. We call it certificate rackets.
Okay.
Remember Osun?
Okay. And then the one at the passport, and then... Anyway. But so, whether or not that is true, we have some documents showing that letters have gone to the office of the governor. Whether or not it is true, I guess the Lagos State government may want to speak to that. But there is this one that is interesting. And we've spoken about it once. The Ministry of Works. The minister.
Former Governor Umahi. The man of the moment, or one of the men of the moment. Because also in that bracket is the Minister for the Interior. Those who are making waves. They came there with vigor, with verve, ready to go, and they are going.
You may want to add the Minister for Site. Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. Oh, he's already mobilizing.
That young chap.
Yeah, he's already mobilizing something in the region of, is it 130 or 150 billion dollars for young Nigerians, for upskilling technology, in Nigeria. But back to the Minister of Works. I think we have a tough job. He has a tough job on his hands, and it's our conscience at play here, at stake.
I know what you mean. Because he's uncovering all kinds of things and calling some contractors out and actually chastising them. And that is unprecedented. And I think it's a good thing for this country. Contractors will begin to sit up. If you're given a job of work to do, for crying out loud, do it to the spec that you say it's going to be. Don't say you're going to give us a highway that is so many feet thick and you give us something that is half that thickness.
Something scary that he said, which I don't know how we're going to deal with it, is that he said most of the roads we have today in Nigeria cannot last beyond 7-8 years. Now that's scary. By the way, you would be able to tell us how the the third mainland bridge is. There are portions on the road now, on the third mainland bridge, that are decrepit. And I'm wondering, this road, how old is it?
You mean there are potholes on the bridge? And it's scary because when we used to talk about it, when the damage first started, I used to say that Third Mainland Bridge had eczema.
Now the eczema is becoming cancerous.
Well, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I did hear on news that the president had approved monies to fix the Third Mainland Bridge.
The question that I ask, Alero, all the time is, Don't we have some people whose job it is to make
maintain.
sure those things don't happen? What in the universe is the Federal Road Maintenance Agency for? Just getting salaries? And these are the people that were complaining that the governor was, the minister was too high-handed on them.
As they say in Nigeria, be coming down.
So when we are, you see, this is one of the things I say. When we are talking about leaders in the country who are not doing the people good, some of those leaders who are not doing the people good are not seen. They are in the engine of the car. We are only looking at the headlamps.
They are in the evil spirit, the evil service.
So, I don't know. I mean, when the minister said he decided to lock some people out just to get their attention.
And they were protesting against him.
Can you imagine?
They had the nerve because coming late to work had become normal.
So, you know, Minister Umahi, Engineer Dave Umahi, kudos to you. A number of people really do appreciate what you're doing, even though you are calling some people out and you're making it difficult for some people to do the things that they normally do. Please, keep at it.
To do the things that they normally do?
Yes.
I like that.
No, I mean, the things that they normally, just as you said.
You're being cryptic.
Coming late to work is a norm.
Yeah.
And, you know, doing substandard work has become a norm.
Yeah.
To the point that he said, the roads that were made in the 60s, you'll be able to tell us about them. Look at the Ijora Bridge, all those bridges that were made in the 60s and the 70s, they're still standing.
My dear Ayo, some of the roads that were made, those two, what we now call the old road.
Yes.
Some of them were built in the 50s.
Yes.
Apart from some, you know, rough edges.
Yes.
The centers are still going. And those
standing.
are roads that are over 50 years old, as opposed to roads that are 3 years old, 4 years old in today's Nigeria. And you don't even want to drive on them because you want to have pity on your car.
We have quite a lot of work to do today, so otherwise I could keep going.
Yes.
You know, about this particular thing. It's really, really disturbing. And these are the people that some young people are going to come into that same civil service.
And they will go into the mold.
The culture is going to continue the way it is. And
That's
guess
right.
what? When you want bomb picking, you don't bomb picking in one day.
We had former Governor Babatunde Fashola at an event at Ikoyi Club celebrating 85 years of Ikoyi Club. And he was very clear in saying that ministers go and come, but the civil servants remain there. So if they don't want you to succeed, you are not going to succeed.
Something that I always say, the president, there are 3 levels of government officials: the elected, the appointed, and the employed. The elected, 4 years, 8 years tops.
Max.
The appointed, statutory or not statutory, between 8 and 10 years. But the employed, 30 years, 35 years.
Rock of ages.
And we are wondering who is government. Anyway, so what are we doing?
Well, we're going to start by looking at the education sector. Recall 2 days ago, it was World Teachers' Day.
Yeah. And they are also part of those people who are endangered when kidnappings happen in schools. So we will talk about tackling insecurity second.
And then we shall turn our focus to the community clashes that have been taking place in Osun State.
And then you remember this famous conversation on Erisco Foods image dent? Yes, we'll talk about that one as well.
And it's that time of the year again when the Arise Women hold their conference.
Lifestyle today, parenting difficult children. I like to put the difficult in quotes. Are the children difficult, or is it the parents that are difficult? I don't know.
Or is it the parents that don't even know what they're doing?
Or is it the parents that don't know the child, so they say, this child is difficult? Or what the parents themselves difficult, so they are able to just say.
It's possible. Then, as usual, we shall close with the Artist of the Week segment. And, well, he's a he. That's all I can disclose at this point.
We'll keep the rest secret.
So get your cocoa, whichever color it is that you want, and let's get on with it in a few moments.
Burokini's here. Make way, make way, make way. Make room for him, make room for him. Make room for the King of Glory. Burokini day, Burokini day, Burokini day, Oba Ogo. Burokini day, Burokini day, Burokini day, Oba Ogo. Ọlọ́run Burokini Ogo, Ọlọ́run Burokini Agbára, Ọlọ́run Burokini Ọlábíkún.
Thank you for joining us this morning. Thursday was International Teachers Day. And I watched you guys on Thursday.
Remembering our teachers.
Remembering your teachers.
Yeah.
And
one of them that I also remembered after that was my maths teacher. I still hate maths, but this particular guy, he wasn't Nigerian, I think he was Pakistani or something. Al Bezindo White. Am I correct? Yes, correct. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 is equal to 8. Am I correct? Yes, correct. I will never forget. That's how to multiply.
You see, whichever way you look at it, there are some teachers that you will never forget in all your life. And when we were growing up, we were told that teachers got their reward in heaven. But it looks like these days teachers want their reward on earth.
No, I think maybe,
strictly speaking, you can't blame them.
What you probably even informed that was because teaching was always looked like a thankless job or something.
It was always, no, but when students graduated, they invariably came back to say thank you to their primary school teachers who laid the foundation.
Yeah. There was no nursery school back then.
We didn't know. We went to school when our hands reached our ears. The educational sector in Nigeria has been fraught with numerous challenges, ranging from inadequate funding and infrastructure, low-quality teaching, insufficient teacher training, non-implementation of policies, corruption, and the widening education gap between urban and rural areas. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But this morning, we have the pleasure of having the company of Professor Abiola Awoshika, CEO of Sanctum Startup College, our friend, who's always with us when we're talking education. Good morning, Professor.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We also have joining us virtually from Ikoyi, Professor Enase Okonedo, who is Vice Chancellor, Pan-African University. Good morning, Professor Okonedo. We also have two exemplary students with us this morning, students of Fidel College, Bello Mubarak. Good morning. And Obende Onosereme.
Good morning.
Good. You shall know in time why the students are exemplary and why they are here. But in the meantime, let me start with Professor Awoshika. We were celebrating Teachers' Day, and some of those people who spoke, governors, the president himself, was specific about certain things that were wrong with that particular sector. And majorly among them is the lack of adequate investment in that sector. Professor, what are your thoughts about that comment by the president?
Thank you so much. Adequate investment in that sector covers a whole lot of problems. But specifically, we need a curriculum that's fitting for today and ready for the future. We're not there at all. And if you ask me, that is where I would start. We put a lot of money in infrastructure, but as far as I'm concerned, that is still an opportunity for some people to still get some money into their pockets, not into the sector. Otherwise, when I look at videos of schools and school children, dilapidated, and ceilings are leaking,
children are in pools of water.
But you know one thing, ma'am, those children, they look well dressed, nice, clean, and you're thinking, Mom prepared these children to go to school. The government was not ready to receive them. So what is wrong with the sector is wrong, is what the government is supposed to do for the sector. And so even if we put them under a tree, and we have the good curriculum that will take them into the future, the children will probably still have a good future. But when we put money into education, for so many years, people have been asking, where does the money go? I mean, we had a great year last year. I think the budget was, quite substantial, but we still have not seen any difference in the education sector. But so where does the money go? That's the problem.
Professor Konedo, can you help us shed some light on that? Do you have any idea where the money goes? Because Prof here says that, yes, the budgets are getting better. The budgets are improving, but this is not evident in the quality of learning that is given to the children.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, I do agree with her when she says that, we need to have a renewed focus on the curriculum. But if we want to talk about the budget, it increased this year, 2023. In the last 2 years, it declined. But even then, when we look at the percentage of the budget that's been allocated to education, even though it's increased, compared to the benchmark that's set by UNESCO, we're not near it at all. We're about half. We're not alone, though, because for many other countries in the world, they are like that. So this year, we had more or less like 8.2%. I can't really say where the money goes, but I can say that the challenges that money is supposed to address, they are myriad. Because out of that, it's not only the funding for infrastructure, also for the teachers, everything comes into that. And, we need to consider the needs of the nation, the capacity of our existing institutions to even take on the number of children and students that we have. We have about 62% of our people that are under 24 years old. They have to go to school. Where are we going to keep them? The professor said, well, they can sit under the tree. It's true, they can sit under the tree. But then if they are subject to the vagaries of the weather, there's a problem. So for those people that we have to develop, how are we doing them? So the money is going into funding all of this. And quite frankly, it is insufficient. The largest proportion of educational needs are met by federal, state, and local governments there. Private schools just only cut the tip. It's not at all sufficient. I can't answer the question of where it goes, but I say that there is still a lot more that should be done. If we increase that budget, perhaps we can start to make a bit of progress. But I think we need to call on non-state actors to also work with us in this regard.
Just 1 second before we go away from you, Professor Konedo. One of the things that Professor Awushika here said is that, there is a need to give a little more attention to the curriculum, what some would call the soft infrastructure in education. What's your take on that? What have we missed over time? Because I remember, you would as well, and Prof will probably be able to validate it, that back in time, people came from different parts of the world to school here in Nigeria. That's almost unthinkable now, that some people will leave.
In my lifetime.
Exactly my point.
Because at the University of Ibadan, we had exchange students from the US, from Spain, all coming to study in this country.
And some also did what they call sabbatical, came from different parts of the world to do those things here in Nigeria. But today, Nigerians go to Ghana. They go to Republic of Benin.
Yeah.
For university degrees. So what have we lost that's making the jobs of teachers more cumbersome and almost insignificant?
Okay, so that's plenty of questions. But you began with what have we missed in the curriculum. And I'll tell you a number of things. In today's world, knowledge is being created exponentially. So what we learn in the university, what I learned in the university many years ago is completely irrelevant today.
Yes.
And we face that across several disciplines. But if the focus of our education is still on subject matter to the exclusion of all other things, we haven't got it. Because today, of course, we need to master the subject. But there are many other things that feature to make somebody contribute to the livelihood, economic development of the nation. Nowadays, especially in environments such as ours, we need creativity. The problems we have are plenty. So we have to be able to be creative to think, how can we come up with solutions? We need adaptability. We need communication skills. To what extent do these ones feature in the curriculum? That's one. The second that I think we have missed a lot is really about whether we provide value-based education. So if we look at it, it's still very much highly focused on specific subject content, which is not bad, but there has to be more that is added onto it. So with the curriculum, that has to be looked at across board, from early child education to primary, to secondary, to tertiary. How are we educating the people? What are we educating them on? What are we preparing them for? If we think about the world of today, let's not even go to tomorrow. If we think of the world today, we need to ask ourselves, are we producing students, graduates, secondary people that can compete? Do they have the tech skills? Do they understand big data? So it's all of those ones. So that speaks to your first question, I hope, about curriculum. But then you also were asking the question, it's true, indeed. When I went to school, even in secondary school, we had people that were in my school from South Africa. Those days of appetite, they would send them here to come and go to school. In university, we had the same. But then that has changed. And I think that change began with a perception of perhaps a lower quality of education. When the funding, what Professor Woshika spoke about, when the funding does not go into the development of curriculum, when the funding does not go into research, and recall that the professors will bring the research into the classroom. If there's inadequate funding, then that means that what we are teaching to them is irrelevant or is archaic. Why will people come and learn from us? So, so that's on one side. But there's other things that may contribute. Of course, the perception, again, of Nigeria, the increased cost of living, and the perception of security. We can't take those away from people's willingness to come and spend a term, a semester, or a year here. So these are my thoughts on the questions that you asked.
Professor Woshika, I saw a video where an African was chastising Africa and saying that we have the internet now. This is the digital age. And now we have AI, which is going to affect our lives in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. And he asked the question, where is Africa in all of this? The rest of the world has taken off. Africa is not even at the starting blocks yet. Do you agree with that assessment?
I don't want to agree 100%. I think Africa is already in the game. We may not be at the forefront, but we are in the game, and you know how we are. Once we start, it's very hard to keep us back.
Ain't no stopping us.
Ain't no stopping us, that's right. I had the privilege of working with one of the tech companies here in Lagos. And when I came to them, I came with knowledge of, my knowledge of technology from the US. And we worked together. And I saw what those young people, and there were, the company hired about 250 of them. And, my age brought up the average, because I was about, 60 then, and they were like 25 and 30. And so...
Your children.
I see, exactly. But I saw them at work, and I was astounded. So as far as AI, technology, and whatnot is concerned, and I'm actually glad whom this president picked for his technology person. So that's a great choice right there. And I saw what they did in Yaba, Butemeta. I saw what they did in Vibranium Valley. I saw what they did in. So I am excited for our technology base.
The digital economy.
Pardon me, sir?
The digital economy.
Exactly, sir. Mm. So I think we're not actually there, but we're coming.
Still talking about technology, children are exposed to all kinds of things now because of the internet, which we didn't have in our school days. How do you think this is affecting them? Either plus or minus?
Or minus, yes. It's both ways. Everything has an advantage and a disadvantage. And it makes our job as parents and teachers
more difficult.
Yes. We have to watch their every move, every step. You take something away from them, the next minute they're turning into something slightly different, but it's still doing the same thing. And you take that away from them, and these children are very smart. And so what it does is keeps us on our toes as teachers and as parents. So, for example, you have a system that's supposed to give them their school content on the internet. Well, it's not really on the internet, it's on the intranet. Yeah. And from there, they find their way onto the internet and start watching what they're not supposed to watch. So what do? Well, we're not giving you access that way again. Now we're bringing the stuff to you and posting it on our website. So you constantly have to change how you're doing, how you're dealing with these children. It's not an easy task, but we just have to do it. We can't give up.
Yes.
But we cannot say, don't go on the internet, because that is where the world is going. And
even if you said don't go on the internet, that's when you are there.
So we just have to watch what they're doing when they're on the internet.
Exactly.
Okay. I told you that we had two exceptional students with us this morning from, what's the name of your school again?
Fidel College.
Fidel College. In spite of all the distractions of the internet and all that, these two students excelled in the National Mathematics Competition, which recently held in Abuja. And strangely, the student who came first and the student who came second are from the same school. Bello Mubarak, you came first.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you feel when you were announced as the winner?
Just so, why did you come first?
Why? Because I studied.
I felt amazing. I felt like I did my school proud, my parents proud, my state proud. And I felt that I finally made it through all the hard work and study.
Are you the best math student in your class?
I'm not really the best math student. Me and my friend here are really dragging with each other, but both of us are on top.
Oh, sometimes he is first and sometimes you are second.
Yes.
But unfortunately for this competition, you came second. What happened to you?
I was happy, but it was just really a game of chance. I failed the last question and he happened to get that question.
Ah, that's where you lost it and he got it. Yeah. Just one question.
Yes, ma'am.
What about in class?
Well, we really just assist each other. If there's something I know that he doesn't know, I'll teach him. If there's something he knows I don't know, he teaches me.
Do you like mathematics?
Yes.
You do? Why? I've always hated it.
Well, there's just something about it that makes me happy and excited.
You too?
What class are you in?
Grade 10.
Grade 10.
SS1.
SS1? Oh. Well, that's still a long way off. Have you made up your mind what you want to be when you leave school?
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead and tell us.
I want to be a neurosurgeon when I leave school.
Okay.
Oh, what about you, sir?
I want to go into engineering, and so I can build some infrastructures for the society.
I hear AI in my ears.
Somewhere, yes.
I'm hearing AI somewhere. Are you thinking in that direction?
Maybe not
immediately.
So, but I'm going into civil engineering, and so I can build some infrastructures. So now Nigeria will be a better place.
What has the reaction around you been about that? About your achievements?
Well, I've been approved by my school. I've been celebrated a lot, and our chairman, Pastor Ayodele Adelusi, has celebrated us. He added 300,000 naira to our money we won from that competition, which was 1 million naira.
Wow. And you? What's the reaction been?
You're rich kids, huh?
No, we'll come in there. Because clearly the school fees is done. Go ahead.
So I was really happy. I was excited. Everyone was celebrating for us. Everyone was clapping. Both of us were just happy with what we had achieved.
And how do your maths teachers feel? You first.
Our math teachers felt that they made us into what we are. We did a lot of training. We progressed very well. And now when we won the competition, our math teacher, Mr. Austin Dave, was so happy, proud of us. He celebrated us very much.
Vindicated.
And you too?
Well, since we have the same math teacher, he felt extremely happy that all his hard work and preparation had paid off.
We have just about 5 minutes to go.
Yes, quickly. Let me go to Professor Okonedo. And I say, these two students here are from private schools. That is not saying that public schools are not doing okay. What do you think is the major difference between a student who's attending a private school and one who's in a public school?
Thank you. One, I think that the teachers that teach in the private schools may be more motivated than those in the public school system on account of the remuneration. The pay in private schools is higher for teachers. So obviously with those people, there's more motivation, and then they can put which is not to say, I have found very dedicated teachers in some public schools that really focus on the students, but they're realities. Because even for you to give the quality of education, you need to keep learning. That's the key thing that teachers, you don't go and learn a subject, learn how to teach, and it ends there. You need to keep learning. And I'm glad that the conversation turned to technology, because really the way that you can learn about how to educate, new challenges in the ways that you teach, which is brought on by all those technological things, as well as what you're teaching. Mainly, it may be through the internet. And yet, the spending capacity is limited. So that's the key difference. The second is that I think that in private school system, there's a bit more leeway for you to add things onto the curriculum. So it's not just a cookie-cutter approach of, what happens there is that you have to take it and use it as it is. So there's more room for you to include things which you feel are critical and helpful for the students. So that may account for the differences that we see.
Let me ask, let's wind down with this. What motivation do you think governments at various levels, the president or the federal government has said, okay, they're going to add more of the budgets, budget more for education, at the federal level. But then I'm not sure the same thing is going to cascade down to the states. So what kind of motivation would you say that the governments at various levels need to do the needful in terms of education so that it can be more futuristic?
Well, it has to start with our teachers, because they're the ones imparting the knowledge. And so we need to pay them well. And it's not even just about basic salary. We need to also take care of them in terms of, housing and, transportation. And, this last few months has been grueling for teachers. And
for everybody.
But teachers most of all, because of what you said earlier, their reward is supposed to be in heaven. Other people, they're allowed to earn a lot in this life. But teachers are so, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
So we need to take care of the teachers, even training. train and retrain them for the future so that they can get to the children.
Professor Konedo.
Yes. In addition to what Professor Woshika has said, I would say let's also recognize them. You know, there's something rewarding when you are recognized for the work that you do. And I don't think that our teachers get enough credit, especially those who contend with the challenges that come with teaching in the public school system with limited resources. That's a generalization across them. So recognition, awards, and just sort of motivating them in other ways, in addition to what Prof has said, will be useful.
Well, let me take 10 seconds from you guys. What do you think your teachers need to do better?
Well, I think our teachers need just motivation and proper students to teach, to make everything better for them.
Well, when our teachers have that, they still need to put time into their own accounts and learn more so that they will have more to teach the students.
Interesting.
Professor Konedo, your final word, please, on this matter.
Let's all work together. Government can't do it alone. Private, public sector, let's work together and see what we can do. If we recognize the importance of teachers to the future of this country, we will pay more attention to the education sector.
Professor Woshika.
Yeah, I agree with Professor Konedo. Let's work together. Public, private, government, state governments. Let's work together.
Thank you very much. That's where we have to weigh the anchor this morning. Professor Abiola Awoshika, CEO of Sanctum Startup College, joined us in our studio in Lagos. Professor Enase Konedo, Vice Chancellor, Pan-African University, joined us virtually from Ikoyi. And we had two students from Fidel College, Lagos, Bello Mubarak and Obende Onosereme. Outstanding students who were first and second in the national maths competition, which just ended in Abuja. Thank you all very much for joining us this morning in celebration of Teachers' Day. Sunrise will return in just a moment. Do stay with us.
The Duchess International Hospital caters to every aspect of the family's health needs. A one-stop shop for maternity and child health services, emergency medicine and critical care, medical and surgical subspecialties, dental and eye care, and a range of other subspecialties and services, all available at a single location right here in the heart of Ikeja. And it really doesn't matter if you're paying out of pocket using your HMO or private insurance. We focus completely on providing that world-class affordable healthcare for all the family at all times.
Needs the right amount of energy to start their day, but sourcing for breakfast with a splendid blend of nutritious multigrains? Big wahala. With the new Kellogg's Gold Grain cereal, you don't have to go through all of that. So now, your mornings can look like this.
Go, 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 Gold Grains. Love the goodness of its multigrains. Grain sets go!
Also available in banana flavor.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Again, we no waiting kill him, Papa. That same thing go kill him. Hey. Welcome to the next level. When I look up, now commotion. When I look down, now frustration. When I look at my side, now poto. Now so poto. To reach the top, now connection. If you no get perfume, now stagnation. When I look my side, now butter. Now so butter. Okay. One day, our Niger go good. Now so then they talk good. One day.
Well, for that to happen, we have to tackle insecurity. At least it's one of those things that we have to tackle, honestly. Because, you know, when things are going easy in your environment, you really have no idea how tough some other people are having it. The high rate of insecurity is very disturbing, with the increasing number of kidnapping, killing of citizens, and those who are exposed to unabated attacks, breeding fear. Just Wednesday, 5 female students were kidnapped from the Federal University in Katsina State. Of course, that issue attracted the attention of the upper chamber and the National Assembly, and service chiefs were invited to find a lasting solution to the problem. Just last week, about 20 students of the Federal University in Gusau, Zamfara State, were abducted by armed bandits. 14 of them have been rescued, thankfully, by security forces. Of course, the Chibok girls' abduction is still on the table after 9 years, among others across the major government schools and so many others. A report says that gunmen have kidnapped at least 3,620 people across Nigeria between July 2022 and June 2023. Ransom demand totaled something in the region of 5 billion naira, that's about $6.5 million, according to the SBM intelligence. Let's have a conversation around these and the implications of this sustained insecurity challenges with Ambassador Oamen Roy Ohidievie, who is National Secretary, Retired Members of Nigerian Armed Forces, MNAF. He joins us from New York. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure, sir.
Yeah, we also have Major General John Edenje, former Director, Army Formation. He joins us from our studio in Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, General.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Yeah. So let me begin with you, Major General, in our Abuja studio. Apparently, this will be very concerning for you as well as so many other people. It is disturbing that, you know, talking about it for us is I don't even know the words to use, because it isn't the kind of thing that we want to talk about, but these are the realities that we have to contend with. Can you give us an idea how serious the issue is, or are we just crying wolf when there isn't none? Ambassador, that's a beg your pardon.
I would say that
General, yes, go ahead.
You are not crying wolf. You are not crying wolf at all, because as it is, I will say that what you are saying is what is in the public purview. But what about the ones that are not in the public purview? Are you forgetting about the incidents in Benue, the ones cutting across the southwest, even the northeast and northwest? So it is actually not crying wolf, it is a reality on the ground. The reality that even me, while I was in active service, if you tell me that now that I'm in passive service, this security situation will be like this, I may doubt you. But that is the situation as it is now.
So, General, in that regard,
all that I can say is that
yes,
I have had cause in the recent past couple of days, to discuss with the high echelon, and we reason together, because the information we get, as you know, I was in the Defense Media Operations coordinating the affairs, and some of the contacts are still there. The information you get now is worrisome. So it requires a whole lot of this approach, society approach, from all angles, from all sectors in this country.
Before we go to that wing, General, the question is, how come? First of all, why are these things happening, and how come we haven't been able to check them over the years, especially in recent history?
Yes. Yes, you see, if we go back to history, I am careful to say that there have been a lot of proposals, a lot of papers, a lot of researches, a lot of solutions proposed. Have we implemented them? Did we implement them? I will tell you the answer is no. Simple. One example. When we were there was this strategy of, I'm going to stop using strategy from now, we'll use other terminology. Strategy of decimate, dominate, and occupy. Within a year, from 2015 to 2016, the decimation was achieved. But to dominate the environment, to be able to have the upper hand, a lot of issues came up. Challenges, not getting the required equipment, not getting the required resources, and it cuts across from the first line paramilitary that should provide this right to the military. So that is why we are seeing the deterioration amongst others. Like somehow there's lots of confidence, and the people are not coming forward. I tell you one situation, very, very painful for me. Around the locality where I stay, I didn't believe that this could even spread. I live in Guarimpa, which some people will call a very highbrow place in Abuja, and the thing spread there. 5 years ago, it wasn't so. 3 years ago. So what I'm saying is that we have not been able, as a people, to follow up action plan, what we should do from one state to the other. At a point, one point, maybe after the first day, second days, is abandoned, is terminated for several reasons best known to people who are supposed to handle it. That is why you see this deterioration. And again, the lack of confidence in the whole system.
We'll come to the confidence part.
To bring the relevant information.
My apologies, we'll come to the confidence part. But there is also hush-hush in some quarters that some of these things, these insecurity issues that we're having, a good number of them are not unknown. But there are political considerations. There are other sentimental or parochial considerations, like ethnic considerations, religious considerations, political considerations. If that is true, how significant are they, and why is it such a problem?
Yes, it is natural for a human being. When you talk about the political consideration, that one is because what I will even want to say is, I believe that there's supposed to be political security. That is why that consideration is there. That is why, you see, when there is no political security, that is why I linked it up to the loss of confidence. Now, when you talk about religious aspect, yes, people can be, begin to be brainwashed and become biased. What is real, they will now align it with religious consideration, religious focus, which is not true. So that is why you see it spreading. But the reality is that the people who perpetuate these acts, they take advantage of all these negatives and continue to perpetuate their negatives, which is insecurity, kidnapping, banditry, and all manner of things. So that is why it's still there, because the population we have, like you and me, probably you call us the elites, the people that are educated and understand, what is the assessment of our population in this country? Majority are people who are illiterates or semi-illiterates, who they just wait for the so-called opinion leaders to come and talk to them or not even talk to them. And they use their own low-level initiative, permit me to use that expression. So that is where you see it being perpetuated and then continuing. They are not people that will reason, logically, say, look, let us look at the future or whatever. It will change. No. On the spot action, on the spot decision. So that is why you see it lingering along all these various lines. And of course, maybe people that are supposed to help the situation, they are not helping.
Okay. Ambassador, we've had this problem now for over a decade. And in the last dispensation, we know that a lot of money was thrown into equipping the armed forces to be able to take on these elements. But more and more, it looks like kidnapping is becoming a business. What do you think we should be doing that we're not doing to cut down on all these shenanigans of kidnappings and stuff like that?
Wow, thank you very much for this opportunity. I can see that it's a very sad morning. And even as we rise from the studio today, we'll hear more and more cases of innocent Nigerians becoming victims to kidnapping. Now, let us look at the decades of existence of this kind of criminality. And I want to take it back to the terms of the military regime. You know, during the times that we had military regime, you agree with me that the military could not, should not, and would not fund any other agency to be bigger and stronger than it. So we had the police being left just on the street with their condo, as we used to call it. Now, all the police stations were also underfunded. And when we brought in the democracy, most of the people that fought for democracy then were already making friends with military generals, you know. And coming into power, when we now enthrone democracy, instead of also enriching and making the police a very strong arm for deterrence, we embraced the area boys and the hoodlums, you know, and we started to make hoodlums to be stronger than the police. Now we have the case in our hands where most of the hoodlums, most of the criminal elements are also going into cultism. Cultism was another part of it that my brother in the studio with you there did not mention. He mentioned the ethnicity, religious affiliations, and we must agree that cultism is the one that embraces the two. There are cultists that are in the religious angle, that are also in the political angle, and the ethnic. You know, so this is one group that so many belong to, that they become lecturers and they become politicians, they become governors, they become the judiciary, you know, and we have not been able to communicate the need for the society to be able to enhance collaboration with the police. When the new IG came on board, like 3 months after he came on board, I think he was spitting fire and saying that he's going to do this and do that. But in one of my interviews, I mentioned that the new IG coming on board should begin to look at enhancing the category of people within the force. What is the entry criteria for the police? Can we up the bar? Can we go for OND holders as minimum? Can we up the bar? Can we go for the DPO becoming so and so category? You know, then the IG also have not looked properly into internal discipline. You know, internal discipline, because we have a lot of police compromising, we have a lot of military people compromising and partnering with criminals to enhance this kidnapping. So if you have looked at the internal cleansing, we would have been hearing of monthly dismissal of police officers. But what we see is when you see a viral video of a police officer or a military officer committing infringement on the citizens, that is when you will see the IG set up a committee to dismiss such an officer or demote. Then you also don't forget that everything about kidnapping is part of technology has been our problem. I have been involved in ransom delivery and rescue of kidnapped victims as a private security practitioner after I left the military. One of the constraints is that the banking process for the police to access information of bank accounts is so cumbersome. Then the technology to telecommunication, the phones used to communicate, it's also cumbersome. You know, then the communities where the kidnappers cohabit, you know, most of the communities now pay allegiance to the kidnappers, the bandits, and the terrorists, you know, because we have not looked at the distribution network of our police commands. We are supposed to have policing in a sector disparity to capture the population spread of Nigerians living in anywhere. You know, we're supposed to have a police command in certain places. You know, then we also look at the police also to collaborating with the DSS more, and the immigration to capture all of the people that are living around, to know who is a citizen, who is not a citizen. So we have a lot to do that we have not touched.
General, the ambassador mentioned ransom, and he was part of delivering ransom to kidnappers at some point in his career before he left the country. If you recall, when our currency was changed, earlier this year, one of the reasons given for the change of currency and then the limitations given to withdrawals, either from banks or from ATM, was to prevent such occurrences. How much do you think that worked?
Yes, I followed it closely then because of that reason, that one of the reasons why they did not want a lot of cash in the system was to curtail that or avert that. It was not averted, but it was curtailed. It worked. Why am I saying so? Like I told you earlier on, and I still keep saying it, at least I have some level of privileged intelligence. And even then, you would discover that kidnapping dropped to a reasonable level. Kidnapping dropped. Virtually the zones where you have them happening on almost on routine basis. I can tell you that there are some locations that I know around Benue side and all that it's like a routine basis road because of the road network and all. Once they slow down, they just like people going to farm to go and pluck corn. These bad people will come out and they plug them. It happens, but it reduced and it eventually ceased. So it worked to an extent, but I think it has to be well packaged. And now to the contrary, now that you have some level of cash, circulating almost whatever, they have even changed again. What they do now is that they will now ask for foreign currency. I tell you, there is a situation on ground now that they ask the families to go and bring foreign currency. So it worked. I can say it worked. For me, I stand to be corrected. Some people may say, but I monitored it and observed that once there was no much cash in circulation, kidnapping dropped, and then ransom requests also were not noticed from my own observation, desk observation, and then contacts that I have, as it were.
Okay. General, allow me to go back to the conversation with the question around the politicization or a lack of it. You would remember at some point some governors in the north said that the reason, I think it was Governor El Rufai at the time, that the reason the insecurity increased in the northwest was because governors in his day stopped making the necessary investments. I'm not sure which other governor said something as well that said that they know the people that were behind the insecurity in their environment at the time. So let me ask it pointedly. Are you saying that some politicians are behind the insecurity in some cases, or what percentage of this insecurity is by political actors?
My direct response also, like we say, is that I think it will not be fair for anybody to assume that any politician is behind insecurity directly in his own domain. It will be unfair because what they come to tell the people to tell us is that provide security, provide all the goodies and all, and if at all, like a governor, as it were, they mentioned that, well, I would say that he might have spoken out of maybe, for me, personally, but not that he has gotten facts and figures. And from the level that I played for government as an active serviceman, I have no such proven evidence. And if you tell me, I will not believe it. Something like kidnapping. For ransom, kidnapping, and some people died here. No, I don't think I can, rate our politicians to that level now. But what maybe you are taking me on is like when I talk about political insecurities, that earlier on, I avoid anything direct politics as much as possible. That is, in the political system, are you secure? If you go there, I want to join politics now. That is, if you want the nomination, is it going to be properly done? There's no security. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about the human security. No security, you have human security, food security, education security, health security, economic security. It is from that perspective that I'm talking about. But for you to say, or for someone to be out there and say, a politician or whatever, even the political class, this brazen, outright insecurity, human insecurity, kidnapping and all. No, I don't align myself with that. It may not be true.
Okay. But what about the herders and farmers clashes?
Herders and farmers clashes is real. It's real, and it's still on. Because I think even this morning I had cause to talk with somebody from a remote area, and he told me that it's still on. But for me, the case study, the place I actually looked that I'm seeing is even like Benue State, for instance. I am from Benue. And of course, naturally, I should be following up issues. At least for now, because of the regulation and everything put in place here, it has been put into check to a large extent. But other areas where they are still paying protection money, they used to demand protection money for a long time before it came to the knowledge of the government, I can say that modestly it's still on. They are still clashing. Why it may not be all over now is that wait for harvest season. By the time the rains are over, I see a resurgence, if not properly addressed and handled from now. It can be, and it has to do, like I say, the whole set of society approach from now on.
Well, Ambassador, we've been dealing with the issues, but the good question a number of people are still asking is, where is it all coming from? It wasn't this bad 20, 30, 40 years ago. And that's why a number of people are speculating that maybe it is these things, this insecurity in some cases are politically motivated. And General has also spoken to the parochial interests of ethnicity, religion, and all those things that may sometimes be involved in this. What's your take on that?
Okay, thank you. And thank you, my Honorable General on the studio. Now, you see, one thing about kidnapping is that it has its own facets. There are kidnapped for ransom. There are kidnapped for vendetta. We also have kidnapped for ritual purposes. And, if you look at the breakout of kidnapping in Nigeria generally, I think the whole thing started from all of the opportunities to exchange victims for interest. It started with prisoners of war, where you can pick people from the opposing or warring factions and exchange them for those of yours that are also arrested. But today we see kidnap for ritual coming up also. And you can recall about what I told you about cultism, kidnap for ritual using human parts as a commodity, where people sell human eyes, they sell the human head, And if you recall that native doctors and traditionalists have also been arrested for using these human parts for farms. And our kind of environment today, most of the political games we play is either by intimidation, coercion, or by traditional means, or by financial gratification. So we cannot rule out politicians from this influence on kidnapping, or the influence to give criminals opportunity to override the rule of law. Because so many local government chairmen, so many community heads have been arrested. We don't know the end of those cases today, and they have been arrested for fueling, collaborating, and covering kidnappers, and even in the religious group too. Some pastors, imams have also been arrested and fingered for collaborating and covering the activities of kidnappers and bandits and hoodlums.
Ambassador, just 1 second. My apologies. We're running out of time. Let me quickly confirm that what you just said now with General. General, do you agree with the ambassador?
Yes, when he broke it down, you know, I am a trained teacher, some level a researcher, and you should conceptualize whatever you are saying. I think from the perspective for which I took it, is kidnapping for ransom. When you talk about ritual killers and all the other ones, they are on their own, if I were to have conceptualized them. And I was assuming that the focus of this discussion this morning is actually on the one for ransom taking, specifically. Otherwise, all the other ones he mentioned, they are there. When we were even growing, we used to hear about, you know, using a human being for ritual, for sacrifice and all, which is still continuing. As I speak to you, I have a colleague whose father disappeared in Lagos. He's a major general, retired now. That was about over 40 years ago, and that is, it has been there, and it's escalating. No doubt about that. So I agree with him from that perspective that they catch people, they kidnap people, steal people for other reasons. But he has bundled it, which is right. But for me, I looked at it from the perspective that, no, this one's for ransom and all manner, banditry and all. That was why, for me, I say I don't align myself with, you know, attributing it to politicians particularly.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we are completely out of time, gentlemen, but this is definitely a conversation starter, something that we have to step upon now that we know that these things do happen, because insecurity is usually just bundled into one word. Well, let me thank you, gentlemen, for your participation this morning. Major General John Enenche is former Director, Army Information. He joined us from our Abuja studio, as well as Ambassador Oamen Roy Ohidevier, National Secretary, retired members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Remenaf. He joined us from Bronx in New York, USA. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen, this morning. So, well, that's that. Up next is the eye on a community in Osun State. That's right after now.
Every healthy family needs the right amount of energy to start their day, but sourcing for breakfast with a splendid blend of nutritious multigrains, big wahala. With the new Kellogg's Gold Grain cereal, you don't have to go through all of that. So now, your mornings can look like this.
Go, 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 Gold Grains. Love the goodness of its multigrains. Grain sets go!
Also available in banana flavor.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Where is Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello? Where Glow now?
I did here.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow dedicated 10x. Now he might they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give on the hustle, you they enjoy up to 15,000 naira credit and data.
And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if we enjoy, if we not join Glow dedicated 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with they fine. Now Glow with they go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
I know sometimes you be like saying nobody sent you. That's what I care for you, my
friend. I did no vex for me. Say I never call you since, but I hope that you are well. I hope you're my caretaker. Every day I pray for you. Make you a back, God bless you. I never forget you. I gon' forget you. See my shoulder. Make you rest up on me. You know I got you. Now me be your friend indeed. Money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you. Yeah. How are you, my friend? How do you do, my friend? I know sometimes it feel like say nobody send you. That's one I take for you, my friend. Remy Atata, you always stay in my mind. I dig me gone. I cherish you with my life. Don't worry yourself, oh. Everything go day alright. And if anybody try you, know it's gonna be on sight. See my shoulder, make you rest up on me. You know I got you. Let me be your friend indeed. Money don't show now. I don't keep some for you. You know go so far. Cause anything I get now for me and you.
Thank you for staying with us. 8 persons have been reportedly killed following communal clashes between Ifon and Ilobu communities in Orolu and Irekpodun local government areas of Osun State. The community clash also left 4 policemen, including the divisional police officer for Irekpodun division, injured while trying to mediate in the crisis. The 2 neighboring towns located in Orolu and Irekpodun local government areas have been at loggerheads over land issues for years, but the crisis rekindled due to reports of attacks by unknown gunmen on natives of Ifon and Osun on Wednesday. Now, to shed more light on this for us this morning, we have the Commissioner for Information, Osun State, Mr. Kolapo Alimi. Good morning, Mr. Alimi, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, ma. Good morning, our viewers at home.
Yes. So, what exactly happened in the course of this week that rekindled this quarrel?
Well, thank you very much. It is quite unfortunate that in the 21st century that we have now, such a barbaric act could still happen. The information that we obtained from the government circle was that there has been an age-long land dispute between the 2 communities. That last Wednesday, precisely, there was sort of a ritual to be performed by certain community, which the other community forbid on that disputed land, and then it is some innocent passer by claim somebody from but the dispute is actually between Ilubu and Ifon. So what happened was that somebody was killed, and that led to attack and counter-attack between Ifon and Ilubu. Quite unfortunate, many properties were destroyed, lives were lost. But to God be the glory, our government immediately the situation got to the government. The curfew, the government imposed curfew on the 2 local governments, then summoned the security meeting, and then deployed the police to that place. When it got to a stage that we discovered that police alone would not be able to curtail the situation, we contacted the army, the military, the Air Force. We have the Air Force based in Osun, and the army. They moved in and they restored peace. But when it was a little bit escalating at Interland, we have to increase the curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. When we discovered that there was need to be more proactive, we imposed 24 hours curfew. So as it is now, we have imposed 24 hours curfew. And yesterday, we invited the leaders of the community for a meeting and chat. And yesterday, God be the glory, we signed a peace agreement. And yesterday night to this morning, there has never been any fight or any gunshots, burning of houses, and so on and so forth. So far, the government has been able to curtail the situation. But let me say, the situation is quite unfortunate.
Okay, Mr. Alimi, we understand that this animosity has been going on for years. Why hasn't the government intervened? Why didn't the government intervene all that time before it came to a head this week?
Well, let me say that past government has intervened. I could recollect the government of former Governor Ilola intervened in this thing and even handed it over to the traditional council headed by the then our late Baba Ooni of Ife, Oba Tijuade, Okunade, and there and then the committee was set up.
That far back?
The committee. Yes. That was around 2009 thereabout. So the committee was set, the resolution was reached. Yet again, it is always during arrest of the last day.
Okay, seems that the network caught up there. Well, if we can take him for just a few more minutes because it's dated quite far back.
Are you with me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you now. You were up for a bit. Go ahead.
The cassette was in this on it, and notwithstanding that, the situation still persists. So during the government of Oyetola, it resolved, and the government also took steps. So this time around, Governor Adeleke has decided to put a final end to it. The government, previous governments have been trying to make this, then this is the boundary, this. But Governor Adeleke, in his wisdom, this time around, said the government is taking over the land because several efforts in the past have not yielded. So this time around, the government will take over the land, and some warning was issued yesterday to the leaders of the community that those that are sponsoring this, are buying guns, and donating money to buy guns, the government have their list and to get them arrested. And even the leader of the community, the governor was point blank that the traditional rulers if there will be suspended and they might be prosecuted. And they knew that this time around, the government is not joking. Previous government effort has been that, okay, let us find a peaceful solution, a peaceful resolution to it. But as it is, the government discovered that it seems people are not ready for that kind. Having taken over the land as government land, as it is now, someone that if a soldier or any security man hit again, because there was a DPO that was injured. And so he said, what happened to some communities during the era of General Obasanjo when he was president will actually happen. The government cannot just sit and continue to look for some people to continue to cause problems, destroy property. And so we just come one yesterday, the meeting when we had with the late yesterday night, everything has calmed down. And people have seen that this government really means this is not a matter of policy. This is a question of security. The government is serious. There's no issue of who wants this, who wants that. Government wants that. And so as a result of that one, everything has been restored. And we believe it's not a graveyard silence. It is pure and genuine. Because the people realized yesterday that if anything to happen, some people have to go for it. Because lives have been lost.
Okay.
So as it is now, we don't know how many lives that have been lost because initially one person was killed. Later we learned another person has been killed. So far we know officially about 2. But later on, the security agents give us the details. But the property lost was so huge. And so the government has taken driving system, and we know that we will put an end to it.
How final is this position of government? Because, first of all, these are communities where people live. Secondly, we all know how passionate people are when it comes to their ancestral property, land in particular, and all of that. So if government is taking it over, how lasting a solution would you say this is?
Well, As it is now, taking over of the place by government.
Oh dear. Seems that the network is a little... Okay, let's see if we can, just wait for a minute or two to take his comment on that one, because...
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are you with me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Now, what you happen to the land eventually will be carried by the government. But let me say that in the past, the government has not been so decisive. Yesterday, the government was actually decisive that people will be prosecuted. And so because people know that they might be prosecuted, I believe they know that the government is serious. Unlike what has been happening in the past, that, when it just happened, people will just go away with it. This time around, the government carry out investigation as to those sponsoring this kind of heinous crime. And people will be prosecuted and sanction will be imposed.
I'm not sure that question has been answered, Mr. Alimi. Because once government takes it over, people have said over time, and it's happened in quite a number of states, that when government takes a property over, they don't give it back to the original owners, they don't compensate them, and then they could just decide to reassign it to other people. That's why the question is coming now. So we don't solve a problem today and create another one in the future. So is there a circle back arrangement where government will compensate the people whose land they're taking over eventually?
The process is still ongoing. The issue of ownership is what they are fighting for. So if you say you want to compensate, who are you going to compensate? You understand me? But what will be the land, what will be the usefulness of the land will be determined by the government. But as immediate measure, first and foremost, to put a stop to the carnage, and that's why the government take over the land. And I'm very sure it's just about the compensation and the name. The government will look into what to do, what to call that area, which do not belong to community A, B, or C, and what to use the land. And that one is still ongoing. But as it is now, that proposal has been made, and they all discovered yesterday that knowing fully well that government is ready to prosecute, to deal decisively with anybody.
Yeah, well, Mr. Alimi, one other question that's a little interesting for me is this. You said, and everyone, it's public knowledge that this conflict has been going on for quite a while, sometimes restive, sometimes just latent. But elections hold in these communities. And is it that they decide to sheath their sword for the elections, and after the elections they come back? Because elections hold. The governors are elected, local government chairmen are elected, or supposedly, House of Assembly, National Assembly, presidential elections are held, and people are elected into office. What happens during those times that elections can hold in those communities, but then they still, these conflagrations still happen? So are you saying that the elections don't hold in those communities?
Let me tell you that this communal class is the point of politics. And let me inform you that the record and they belong to the same state constituency in the House of Assembly. And so as we are speaking, somebody from Iloku happened to be the one representing that record and state constituency. We call it the record and state constituency of Osun State. Before that time, somebody from Ifan was the one representing, but now it's somebody from the record. So it's the part of politics, because it's very to learn.
Oh, he's gone again. Mr. Kolapo Alimi, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Your connection keeps tripping off, so we just have to close. Thank you very much, and we wish the government luck in settling this matter once and for all, so that we stop having these clashes and loss of lives and property. Mr. Kolapo Alimi is Commissioner for Information for Osun State. Sunrise will return in just a moment, and we'll be looking at Erisco Foods image dent.
Mr. Songs, E-Money. no deceive me. Hey, what thing you go fit do? Now you make you talk. I say, what thing you go fit do? Now you make you talk. I wanna go. Wanna go. I say, I wanna go. Wanna go. You man know they bring money. You know they buy the ring. You know give you comfort. Comfort. I said the man know they bring money. You know they buy the ring. They no give you comfort. I can't come with he says see me. That's in the he says see me. I can't come with he says see me. That's in the he says see me. Singing in us up on now, singing this song. Erisco, 5 star. Let's go. He says, see you. Mr. Sons, E-Money. It's a beautiful thing. But don't deceive me. Don't deceive me. Hey, what thing you go fit do? Now you make you talk. I say, what thing you go fit do? Now you make you talk. I wanna go. Wanna go. I say, I wanna go. Wanna go. You man know they bring money. You know they buy the ring. You know give you comfort.
All right, so Stu, thank you so much for joining us and for sticking with us. I hope you have had your cup of cocoa or cocoa, whichever one it is. Let's talk about Erisco Foods, what you have on your screen. It's an indigenous food production manufacturer incorporated in Nigeria 2004 and started operations 5 years later, manufacturing tomato paste, seasoning, rice, milk cubes, and more. Well, about 2 weeks ago, the company was in the news over negative reviews on Erisco tomato paste posted by a Facebook user, Choma Igoji. Now, to become one of the largest indigenous manufacturers of food products globally, producing high-quality products that combine nourishment with value pricing, I don't think those things would have been taken lightly, and that is why they are here. Incidentally, not too long ago, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, that is NAFDAC, also endorsed Erisco's tomato mix as safe for consumption, dismissing rumors through its verified X handle.
There you go.
That the formation of tomato paste and ketchup products with sugar is safe for consumption. Sugar is added to this. Anyway, go and read the rest of it. But we have two gentlemen with us this morning to have a conversation around this. Eric Omofia is founder and president of Erisco Foods Limited. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We also had the executive director of the company, Erisco Foods Limited. Thank you so much for joining us, Tokunbo Agbere.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let me begin with you. First of all, how did this come to be?
Well, thank you. I want to thank your management force for wait for us to talk before they cascade us, not like other ones that will just go to the air without hearing us out because they are interest-based to them, they are known to them. However, we come to know about somebody that they say is cascading our product on the air, and we made every effort to...
Social media.
Social media, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And we made every effort to know what you are saying, including writing and tagging her. Please, you are cascading our product, our company image will suffer over 40 years to build. You need to do the right thing by putting it down. People were telling her. Then she said she's ready to focus. She's not going to backtrack. We have no choice because she said in one of her two places she spoke, because we saw them as syndicate that is bent to kill Nigerian company, kill Erisco Foods, by extension, most companies in this country. What she claimed that our product has sugar is not what our problem. We didn't fight for that. We cherish our customers, they are our strength. We thank Nigerians for standing by us. We thank them for patronizing us. However, where she went and said our product is killing people, and our product, somebody asked her, so we can spoil it, because she said, done already. That's the only way we have issue. And we couldn't get her. And we don't want to subscribe to somebody kidnapping our business and waiting for us to come and pay her ransom like she did. Then we wrote to IGP, please, this is a new trade of criminality. Can you help us to investigate whether Erisco Food is product are killing people, and where is she, so they can come and prove the case? Because if my product is killing people, I don't deserve to live. I should be killed. I don't want jail. Then that's why the police come up, and anyhow police want to do their job is within their code of conduct and everything. And that's what we did. But I was surprised that some people were raising voice. Why must I call police for my customer who love my customer than me? Without my customer, I wouldn't have been here. I started with one small shop in Sokoto, and today I'm controlling big corporate. So we know what is good for us. And we don't need the people to tell us how to treat our customers. Go there, our distributors say that our company is the best company at treating their customers. They are very happy with us. Then people continue to tell us, oh, bring it here, this one. Please, let them, if they know that is easy to control, make a company, let them go and build pure water factory and run it for 3 months. Because we are suffering here, we are sacrificing here. Me, I am not here for money. I never make money since I come to Nigeria, God knows. I made my money from overseas business. And I'm putting a lot of effort to make sure I run this company, because I'm interested in buy made in Nigeria. We are the only company in this country, indigenous company, that is projecting buy made in Nigeria, buy a risk. Others are buy my products.
Okay.
Even to the international community.
We'll come back to you, sir.
Mr. Agbede, why didn't your company sue this person instead of going to the police?
Well, because at first, we saw it as a syndicate, and they want to be sure that the police investigate so that as many people that are behind it, they'll be brought to book. And that's the major reason. So after that, after the police investigation, that will be the next line of action.
Have you been able to have any discussion with the person?
For what?
There hasn't been any opportunity for that, because she came on air. We have our customer care line through which you could reach us. And she came online. And the next thing we did also was to write, to say, look, this is Erisco Foods. This is how we've been doing our business, and tagged her. perhaps she'll be able to open up. Even if we give her that opportunity, because it's a syndicate, definitely they want to exploit us.
How do you know it's a syndicate?
Let me come in there, please.
Sorry, we found information online in one of Nigeria's leading newspapers that the young lady has since apologized. Is that true?
Yes. I'm telling you something. Okay. The lady was a syndicate head. They are using her. In fact, let me tell you, they pay her to destroy Erisco. Authoritatively, I'm telling you. Because when police came in, they asked her, what is the product you don't have? What is the can? No. What is the production date? No. What is the batch number? None. She has nothing. If I didn't bring in police, we would have known that she really was not our customer and was not our consumer. Simple. Now, because of how the case was very dangerous to my business and to my effort of 40 years, I was sleeping in I left my comfort zone in VGC and slept in my factory at Oyerike for 2 years to make Nigeria to be better. Now, somebody with one Shinagan room will come and subject us to being loyal to her, paying her royalty before I can operate. The lady in question wasn't our customer. The lady in question bought nothing. The lady in question, I didn't arrest her. It was police I wrote to. Because she is a syndicate, she didn't want to put it down, and she was insisting on what she was doing. Until I went to when she was arrested by police, their brothers called me from everywhere, calling me. People in high places of their own, like Innocent, like Senator Oba, like Ikedife, begging me. She did wrong. Please, can you give her soft landing? Hence, they are going to caution her not to do it again. They played with her a lot. And eventually we went there. She and her husband was kneeling down, begging us in front of her lawyer.
You saw her?
I saw her in front of her lawyers, in front of her big Ikedife that came to bail her. And after she offered to apologize, and immediately she offered to go to air and bring it down. I mean, the apology letter is there. Yeah, I can give it to you.
I just
in presence of the husband, signed witness.
What was her reason?
The motive.
No motive is that she was bought. She is a syndicate. They want to use new system of criminality in this country. Okay, let's talk. I thank God that police is investigating. Okay. Let the thing come out. If any of my brother ever kill people, I want to die, not to jail. If not, let her face the consequence, because whatever we agreed as agreement that they pleaded with me, she never kept to it.
Okay, can we, now that we know, I mean, you said it's still in the hands of the police?
Yes.
And there's prosecution, They
are processing their own bed. Our company, after, like my ED said, after the investigation, or as early as any time from now, we are suing her because she caused the damage. Levy, my credit line customers, from the credit they give me from China, $50 million for 2 customers, they are all suspended now. How can I do? For a noisemaker, a rant, to stop my business. I have 3,000 people in my company of 40 years. And Nigeria is supporting one rant to kill others. In fact, I want to plead the government to change the law on this cyberbullying. Not 14 years, it should be 21 years, so that they will hear what they are saying. How can somebody go and destroy an empire for these years? In fact, this country should think well. Nobody can love my country than me.
Absolutely.
I love Nigeria. That's why you see it. How many big men will agree to adore local men like me? They can't. How many of them? Now, and since the 15 years I'm doing that. I'm proud. I made China president with this. I met Kenyan president with this when I went travel with President Buhari. And they love it. I met going to American conference. They love it. I go to Dubai. They love it. I have been sacrificed for this nation, but the nation is not paying me well.
Oh no, it was a rant, not the nation.
Not let me put it that way. So most of Nigerians are still appreciate us. They continue bombarding the image. But what surprised me most is Nigeria. When the thing was on, everybody is shouting, Erisco kill, Erisco do this one, Erisco arrest, Erisco do this. When the NAFDAC spoke, when truth come out, all of them muted. Why? They don't use the same system to go and say, they owe me an apology. If they don't owe me an apology, they are short of Christian or Muslim they are.
Mr. Agbede, since the rant has now apologized. Why would you still take her to court? You have her written apology, witnessed her signature, witnessed by her husband.
Yes.
So
And
it
her
cannot
lawyer.
be and her lawyer.
Yes,
So it cannot be denied.
And okay, yeah, this is why it's going further, because in the presence of police, they said, right, then she wrote this, and that go and settle this, provided you post it on your Facebook, and so that the way you did it, that will be the reason that by the time you come back, let us know if you have done it. And if that is a condition, she did not do it. It definitely will have to go, because she's even coming out to deny, to say that it was done under duress.
Oh, so that she signed under duress.
Under duress.
She wrote this under duress.
It was said in the national, in one of the television stations by her lawyer and the husband. So
you forced her to write it. You forced her lawyer to witness
that's
it.
according to her. But we never did, because it was...
No, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how you can force her lawyer to witness something.
And her husband.
Did you put a gun to their heads?
No. No. It was when she was begging. And then, okay, she offered that she was apologizing. Okay, put it into writing. Then police, okay, come back after 7 days to see if you have actually posted it on your day, so that the case will die down like that. But up till now...
But since she has refused, that's the reason why you're taking her to court.
Yes, because she had caused a lot of damage to the company. Imagine if such a company die naturally by her bullying. What will happen? As one of
all
the
the staff, all their families.
All their families.
So if you remember when we were fighting importers on tomato, I met you one of the time you interviewed me.
Really?
Then, 2016 to 2018, the Tomato Importers Association refused that a tomato paste should be banned. I, Erisco, fought them, about 25 of them, with China support they get, and President agreed with us that tomato is not required to be imported in this country again. You have to go. Then they now think that President Buhari has gone. President Tinubu is back. They can come back to do it. Then some of the people that claim to be they are pseudo manufacturers here, even though they are Nigerian people, but they are not manufacturing what they are saying. They are just importing some of the goods. They are the one conniving wicked manufacturers and greedy ones, conniving with them to root us out so that the tomato importers will get rolled back. If you read today's paper punch, customs is 20 containers already, but that is just a minute of what they are bringing in. So this country, they don't realize what I'm doing for them. This what we are fighting now is for the whole country. Otherwise, it will be standard in this country. Somebody will go and review what he doesn't know, what he doesn't buy, just for money's sake. Let me get the lady should have brought the money or the item. Where example we see. Then she took us to Irukera, DG, FCC, PC.
Oh.
Yes, the case is up to there. Then Irukera wrote us, Erisco, bring your documents within 7 days. The same morning I was leaving to Abuja, I packed all the documents, but without no letter. All documents that we are hiding nothing. The product was declared what it is. No, I want to feed Africa. I want to support Nigeria. That's what I'm doing.
Has there been a feedback from Mr. Irukera?
I'm coming to tell you, Irukera, instead of waiting for us to come with our document as he required or call us, he went on air, cascating us, judging us, killing us. And then asked Irukera, where is the product of the guy he's saying? No. He didn't even know the guy. Irukera and supporting the criminals to deal with Erisco. He want to finish us so that importers will continue. I wrote already position to President Tinubu, and I wrote to his minister. He need to be investigated. This action is unbearable. He didn't hear from us. And I went to the office myself. The man refused. I made director of Lega. He was cold. He didn't expect me to come. He was thinking that, oh, Erisco is before. He's supporting them, going to air, telling them Erisco can be sued, this one. Later, when the truth come out, Irukera was giving, somebody said Erisco has no NAFDAC. He posted it within 5 minutes out. When the NAFDAC make a statement, Erisco product is approved, except for it. Irukera is counted today, it's mooted. He never posted that again. So you see, the MDAs are In fact, to manufacture in this country, we are the enemy of all. Enemy. I hope President Tinubu will change the narrative, because we can't just be campaigning for come to invest in this country. And the one you have, they are killing their own. They want to kill their own and be happy because they are used to foreign tests. And yet, the same product they are giving us in this country, they don't eat it in China. When I went to China with President Buhari, he asked them why. I asked the Deputy Commerce Minister, why your product is killing products? See what NAFDAC said. 91.5% of product in Nigeria is not safe for consumption, it's killing. He said, it's what their country wants, we'll give you. Not only me, it's in billions of us. So you see, this is why
it seems then, from what you said now, it seems that some people believe that we don't have standards in the country.
Yes, China believe that. And NAFDAC report is there. That says so. Not me. They conduct research and say 91.1% of all tomato imported here is not safe. But because of maybe porous borders, maybe because of, I don't know why imported tomato is still full in the market. And I want to tell Nigerians with this opportunity that I am here to satisfy my conscience. I enjoy humanity. I enjoy to create job for my people. I want Nigeria to be on top of the world. If not, I made more money in the way I get Dubai and Angola. I have my business down here. Just because here is my home.
Okay. Just to be clear, which products are we talking about?
It's a Najiko mix. And we have 3 brands. Rejiko tomato paste, Erisco tomato paste. This is Najiko mix, which allows sugar. And all the sugar in question was also declared as the contents, the ingredients used. Written.
It's stated there.
It's stated here.
On the tin.
And that's the tomato mix. It's the tomato mix. Najiko tomato mix. The other one you see...
What is contained in tomato mix, please?
It's different from tomato paste?
Yes, it's just the sugar. Okay. All the additives, they are stated here,
okay,
which makes it different from... Because like in Rejiko tomato paste, you don't have sugar.
Okay.
It's not declared there.
So the mix has tomato and pepper and
no, it doesn't have
pepper.
Yes, sugar. It has sugar.
Tomato, sugar.
Yes, you have sugar. It has a starch and every other thing stated here.
Okay.
Clearly stated.
It's all stated on the...
Yes. And NAFDAC approved.
It is not because we just saw a report, on the
So tell me why
this
rant is ranting Nigeria. Listen to her.
So because if you are not out to kill a business,
perhaps my apologies, Mr. Okay. Perhaps the challenge is the understanding. People know tomato paste more than they know tomato mix.
Okay.
So maybe you want to educate us, what's the difference in the two and why? What uses?
Let me take over there.
Okay.
Tomato mix world over, including America and Britain, is containing sugar. Originally, tomato, even fresh tomato has sugar. So when it's concentrated to be concentrate, some sugars and water will go out. So that sugar you can put back there to let it to be okay. But the bricks can be lower. If you put this one now in water, you get it to be ketchup. If you want, you can use to eat bread.
Oh.
There are 2 different things there.
Okay.
So we have Rejiko and Erisco on the other side. If you want paste, if you want mix, you buy this.
So
so
just to be clear.
Yes.
Tomato paste is what they use to cook stew.
Yes, and
but
mix, you can take mix. They can use both. This is for multiple use.
Okay.
They are multiple use. They are fit to eat for anything. You can use to as bread, as ketchup, as anything. Multiple use, as you like.
Okay.
So nothing is wrong with there. Even fresh tomato itself have sugar. If you don't have sugar, it cannot exist. So what is on the ground is that the lady has been able to bought social media. Because it's ranting there, want to use us to increase our traffic on her Facebook, which is dangerous. If we allow them to people that doesn't work, see how you are working hard, leave your family, come here. Somebody will go Sunday and tell you, oh, Ayo, I saw you kill somebody, kill your papa. Will you be happy? So I won't leave rant to do my business. I regret nothing I take. All my action is in order. If I have it again, I'll repeat it again.
They will have to prove that I killed anybody.
That's what I go. That is why now I go to police to prove I'm killing people. So why is Nigeria saying, why must I call police? Is police not friendly to us?
Well, I mean, no one will argue. You know, we are very sentimental people, so people will come up with all kinds of sentiments.
And that's why we're not doing well in this country. We are not fair.
But you are doing well, so Nigeria is doing well.
No.
I would rather we were positive. That's the reason I'm talking
in industry. By now, our plan of Erisco is to have controlling export to all the African countries.
Yeah, well, you are definitely on the way.
But on the way when they are for sale too much.
No, you are definitely on the way there. Let's hope that with this example,
Chief, Chief, NAFDAC has vindicated you.
Yes, I agree.
So you can continue the journey to being
even before now, if you go to put in Nigeria. It's big for if you go to
that's another conversation altogether.
If you go to Sambisa now, you see soldiers using material to gun down our enemies that is making destabilizing Nigeria. But we are into Sambisa without the gun. They manufacture in this country.
Chief
no gun.
Eric founder, president, Erisco Foods Limited. Thank you so much for your time this morning, as well as executive. Oh yes, we are done.
Can I appeal to the government to look into this cyber crime issue? There must be a way that government will make a house to make better law. If you don't go through process of regulatory agencies, if you go on air, you'll be prosecuted and jailed because you are talking nonsense.
I think you are taking a proactive action.
But only me. If I am talking to you,
you are not the only one.
Man never asked me how do you do it. Manufacturing of Nigeria. And people were thinking that we are a manufacturer. The best thing for me now is to leave this country and go where I'm making more money.
Don't worry.
This guy is not taking.
We won't let you go.
But I hope that this president will correct this situation.
We won't let you go. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Eric Umofia is founder, president, Erisco Foods Limited, as well as Tokunbo Agbede, executive director, Erisco Foods Limited. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
We will not stop saying buy Nigeria. So this is one buy Nigerian product that must not die. We're back right after now to talk about another one. Do stay with us.
A good woman no coming from the Lord. They know they see her for market you. A good woman is a blessing from above. Her type will not there for market you. I tell you more, Yaku. One year batrako is a silver. You know more, does Yaku. One year batrako does Yaku. Always loving everybody, no discrimination. What I did, man, no competition. Come and see the blessings of the Lord. If you want your maka, blessings in a if you want your maka, only this in a good woman no coming from the Lord. Is a blessing from above. You will find that the wife will find it a good thing. And obtain a favor from the Lord. Blessings of the Lord. If you want your maka, And I know, what you know. If you lose a good woman, everything goes scatter. Everything go nyama nyama. Na so confusion. Wahala day. Honeymoon, she give her life, she give everything. She risks it all for her family. No retreating, no surrender. I know Chumona Moso. She puts her trust in God. Oh. She is confident. She is more than a diva.
Okay. Now that we know.
So,
you won't even know what went on before you came on there, so don't even bother.
No, we're not going to try. We're not even going to tell you. Well, the Arise women are here again. It's that time of the year. You know, every year they come, and they come in that their bright T-shirt. So they're here again this year because it's time for that conference. The Arise Women Conference 2023 is just round the corner. And just in case you didn't watch us the last time, you might be wondering what exactly Arise Women is. Arise is a faith-based non-governmental organization dedicated to fostering nation building through the empowerment of women in society. Up women. At the heart of their mission lies the unwavering commitment to thrust women towards economic prosperity and amplify their voices of influence. With us this morning is Iyabola Dikpo. I'm sure you know her already. She's a committee member of the 15th Annual Arise Women's Conference. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mrs. Ladikpo.
Thank you for having us.
We also have a team member, Sisan Kwere Daibo.
Good morning.
Morning, Sisan.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you. And we have Michael Ilega, also a team member and not a stranger to us.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Pleasure to be here. Good.
I always love the colors of, no, not this one, this shirt. Yes.
Let me just highlight the fact that she eyed me when she was talking about Up Women.
Wow.
Thinking that men don't support women.
No, that's why we're here.
Exactly. So I noticed, just so you know.
Thank you for supporting us.
You are not welcome. Sorry.
So the Arise Walk for Life is happening soon. What is this year's own about? What's the theme? You always have a theme, don't you?
Yes. The theme is Step Up. Step Up. And you know that Arise, the Walk for Life is particularly about encouraging us all to walk. We're particular about preventive health care.
Okay.
So we'd rather that we were all healthy rather than having to need hospitals, and we want to encourage us all to walk. And the Walk for Life is doing it in fun and in style.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll go in from there. I mean, the Walk for Life has been going on for many years, and I think it was the pandemic that kick-started the reach that Arise has now. So normally we would all gather in one location and walk in one direction. And then COVID came and that became a bit impossible because we had people across the world that wanted to be a part of this but couldn't. So we now had what we call clusters that set up across Nigeria, across various other continents that they also got their T-shirts like we're all wearing, and they started to work either in families, in offices, estates, as large and as small as they could be. And they also joined in this particular walk. And it's amazing to see how people are still continuing this fantastic tradition over the last few years.
So if an estate, for instance, wanted to form a cluster, how would they go about it?
Very simple. A cluster is a group of probably 10 to 15 people, depending on the number. They need to get our T-shirts on our websites, on our social media pages. You can reach out to us. We'll get your T-shirts across to you. And also register your cluster, because we have people, for example, who want to be in, maybe they don't know the clusters around them. So on our website, we have a list of all the clusters around you. So you would have to go on our website and check it out and then let us know which cluster you'd like to participate in. Then we can now send your shirts to you after you get in touch with us.
So imagine, for instance, that we want to have an Alero cluster.
Okay. I like that.
Do they have to register?
Of course, of course. So
how much do they have to pay?
Oh, it's free.
Okay.
But then there are procedures to registration. So now if you want to have an Alero cluster, like you said, you have to have these T-shirts, you have to have the cap, you have to be well kitted, and then you have to register your cluster so that we know, okay, we have an Alero cluster. And not to give out the gist of it. So last year was amazing.
Before we
there
go
were
to
a
that
lot
last
of
year, we'll come
clusters.
to the last year. So this Alero cluster, right?
Yes.
It's not hypothetical, it's prophetic.
Okay,
This
let's go
Alero
there.
cluster we're talking about, they can be very large. It can be like
Igbo in my pocket.
So, what is there a limit to the number of people in a cluster?
Oh no. I mean,
So they can be 1,000.
it can be 1,000, but
In
you know,
one
the
cluster.
smaller, the better.
better.
So we can identify
Okay,
who is
suppose
who.
you say that Alero should group Alero cluster 1, Alero cluster 2, Alero cluster 3.
Beautiful. Like
It's possible.
Yeah,
So
it is.
we've had instances where maybe, as you said, some areas are quite large. So they've done exactly what you said. They've broken it down into 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Just so also for because I know last year we did something we called the best clusters, where we had first
There were
prize,
prizes.
second prize, third
Exactly.
prize. So ideally, you would want your cluster maybe to not be as large, so
that you can share
evenly
the
share
prize,
the-
equally
yeah,
be
the
shared.
prize
But I've heard now. You wanted to say something about last year.
Exactly what I wanted to say, boy.
Yeah, let me continue, because
Yes.
what we're having tomorrow on Sunday, we're having a
Agapos.
yes, sir.
It's women. Please talk, Jerry.
men are also very, very welcome. That's why we're here for everyone.
Women and men who support them.
Oh, awesome,
like
awesome.
that, I like that,
So
I like that.
he was trying to say.
Trying, yes, I like that.
Okay, you say it then.
So on Sunday we have a press conference to announce the winners of last year's cluster.
Was Alero cluster one of them?
There was no Alero
There was
cluster.
no. I mean, I wish we had.
Unfortunately.
Because
I wish we had-
Alero was playing lawn tennis.
I'm watching Serena Williams.
She's retired. Thank
so
you.
at
The press conference.
conference, thank you, we will be announcing the first prizes, the second prizes, and all the winners. I mean, these people, I don't think they know that.
No, so we have so many. What we're told is that if you're a cluster head, you would send your representative across to the press conference. So actually, because you don't know, you might have won.
Exactly.
And
Oh, you haven't announced it at all?
No, so the build-up is for this particular, this year's own session. So tomorrow's press conference, we have a lot of people coming to join us. You can watch us live on Arise Women NG, as well as, I think, on our websites as well. So you can actually see, and the prizes we announced last year, if I remember well, the first prize was about $5,000, the second prize was $3,000, and the third prize was $2,000. Arise Women NG
Arise
on
Women
all
NG.
social media platforms. So you can...
Or is it Arise Women?
Arise Women NG. No, Arise Women NG. That's the channel on social media platforms, and the website is arisewomenng.org.
Okay.
So on that day, which is tomorrow, we'll be announcing and also giving out the prizes to these winners. And my knowledge should not fail me now. I know the exchange rate last year compared to now. Let's imagine. I think it's good that we are getting our prizes now than last year, because you're getting it in the pure currency that we advertise. So
I agree.
you can join us live, and then because we have more prizes for this year's, which is why it's important to set up your cluster as well, sir. You know,
I'll join.
You will join her cluster, right? Yeah, I think so.
I can't afford
but
the
registration. But the Walk for
fee.
Life is on Saturday, isn't it?
It's next week, Saturday, the
We are
14th
at
of
work.
October.
Yeah, we can walk.
You can
walk in the spirit. There's nothing wrong.
You could form a nice Channels TV cluster around the neighborhood just for 20, 30 minutes, 3 kilometers.
Channels, I'll be in this seat next week on Saturday.
Okay.
Except you want me to walk on set.
Why not? We have shirts for you as well, so you can walk around the studio, have a good time.
Creative.
Well, that would be really nice if when you sponsor it, just let us know.
Exactly.
So back to, you've talked about what it's all about. And over the years, this is the 15th edition?
15th edition.
What's been the progression?
Arise has been like an elephant. You know, you touch the trunk, you say it's long. You touch the belly, it's round. We've grown every year. We've grown so much every year. Arise has been involved in education, setting up schools. We've done community, a lot of work in the communities, boreholes. We've done a lot of work. We have an insurance scheme. Last year, we started a golf tournament. Last year, also, we had a football competition. We had a football competition. So this year, we're going on again. We're continuing in those regards. And on the 21st of October, that is the flagship program of the conference. And the conference will hold at Trinity Towers and also 2 or 3 event centers along the road.
Comma.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't go to the flagship yet.
Okay.
Give us the entire program.
Okay.
From day one. Day one is tomorrow, the press conference.
Press conference tomorrow,
Fine.
day one.
Yes.
14th, the walk. 20th, the golf tournament. 21st, football. And then 28th, the flagship conference.
Who are the people playing the football? Arsenal and Man U?
You have to join us.
Last year, we actually got all the
legends, the Super Eagles legends joined us last year.
We had, who were they again?
It was Peter Rufai. Kanu was there as well with us.
At Osun Stadium. We had all of them, and they are legends, not as young as But going forward, this time we're encouraging young female footballers, and we're encouraging young footballers in the neighborhood, and then we're using Oniko Stadium again.
14th is the press conference.
No,
14th is the walk.
Yes.
8th is the press conference.
Yes. 14th is the walk.
20th is golf. 21st
club.
Is football. And then
28th.
28th
Flagship Women's Conference.
That's right.
Okay.
Full program.
Yes,
it is.
Okay. Now, we have all the various activities now. What is the purpose of the press conference tomorrow? They've mentioned giving the prizes to the winners.
Giving the prizes and also sensitizing the public as to everything else that we're doing.
Okay.
So that they can join us for the football, for the golf, for the...
Wish we had more time, we would have taken a lot of testimonials, but your website again?
Yeah, so the website is arisewomenng.org.
Okay.
So there's a lot of information about the previous year's edition, how to be a part of this year's edition, all the events that we have going on, where you can get your shirts, your joggers, your bottles, your bags, all that you would need, all the locations as well. For the walk, as well as all the other programs.
Is that it?
No, this shirt is one of the shirts. We have different designs, different joggers as well. This is another kind kind of them.
Yes.
Okay, what about the bottoms?
It's a different kind. It's not the same.
So you
can also mix and match and accessorize and also go the full thing. But there are different things you can get on the
and
website.
just generally look good.
Yes.
Okay.
And have fun whilst you're walking.
Yes.
We have horse riders
There's
with
horse
us.
riding, there's
we
sailing,
have,
there's
the bikers
yes,
with us.
the bikers.
We have people on boats.
Across
one of
Lagos.
the groups.
Don't call it Arise Walking, just call it Arise Carnival.
Yes,
That might be the next thing. That might be the next
It
thing.
is becoming a carnival.
Exactly.
Because there was a group last year that had the Makoko group. They had a whole regatta, canoes on the waterfront,
Yes.
and they were spelling Arise with their canoes. It was awesome.
So just change the name next year.
And then so good
Thank you
luck
so
at
much.
the Arise conference and walk and all the other activities that are coming up starting tomorrow. Iyabo Oladipo, committee member, team member, Sisa Were Daibo, Michael Ilega, also a team member.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, we can see you at the conference. That's not in the morning. That's in the afternoon. That's all day, actually. So after work, you can meet us at the conference.
Where is the conference, by the way?
It's at Trinity Towers. It's off the Galia Yorinde Street.
Trinity Towers.
Yes, Lucky.
We hope to see you there as well, sir. You're also very much invited.
So long as there'll be something to eat.
Definitely.
So Sunrise returns in a moment. Do stay with us.
If you can use the broken, then Lord, my heart is open. If you can use the messed up, then I'm the mess you need. If you can use a failure, I failed so many times and made so many mistakes, yeah. I wanna get it right. And now my focus is your purpose, laying my life at your feet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take every part of me, take all I'll ever be. I surrender totally. Lord, you are my destiny. Take control of my life, my hopes, my goals, my dreams. Yeah. I surrender totally. Lord, you are my destiny. Yeah, yeah. You are my destiny. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know that I'm not worthy. Sometimes I lose my way. Still you show me mercy, yeah. I'm blinded by your grace. Your love is so amazing. From all my sin and shame, you saved me. A new life you gave me, Father, and now my focus, I'm laying my life at your feet, Jesus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm ready, Lord, if you will let me. I love you, I surrender my everything forever. Say I'm ready, Lord, if you will help me. Say I love you, I surrender. Say my everything forever. Say I'm willing to go. I'm ready, Lord, if you will help me. I love you, I surrender my everything forever. I'm willing to say I'm ready, Lord, if you will help me. I love you, I surrender my everything forever. I'm willing to say I'm ready,
But you know that difficult there should have been we should put it in some better terms. Because are they difficult? Are they not difficult? He was telling me yesterday.
Question mark.
Yeah, but is there such a thing as difficult children? We'll find out, because raising a child is a difficult undertaking on its own for any parent or guardian. But having a child who exhibits challenging behaviors can be downright exhausting, depressing even.
Looking after a child can be exhausting. whether the child is difficult or not.
Whether the child is prone to tantrums or not, refusing to eat, especially fruits.
And vegetables.
Yeah. Whether the child has public meltdowns. Many parents know how tough it can be. But quite a number of questions to ask this man. How do you handle a child who frequently exhibits difficult to manage behaviors? What is the best way to respond when your little one isn't in his or her best behavior most of the time? With the right approach, what's the right approach to handling children like that, with children with behavioral difficulties and all? Let's have this conversation with Kingsley Obomegbulem, who is a parenting coach, among several other things. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't get this memo.
Well, yes, it wasn't meant for you. Don't be a difficult guest this morning. But, you know, this conversation, we started this whole conversation around, the kind of children that we are raising for the future. You want to begin by telling us what feedback has come from that last conversation we had?
Tremendous feedback. I was, to be frank, I had a confession, or rather, I confessed to him that I took it for granted that Saturdays people don't really watch TV in the mornings. But behold, I was disappointed. Or I was shocked. Immediately I left the studio that day, my phone rang. Somebody went online and got my phone, and then some were calling from Facebook, and I got a lot of calls from Facebook. Facebook. And who calls on Facebook, by the way?
The people who did.
And then I spoke in a church, all out of that meeting, and I think, interestingly, the conversation that we didn't focus on was actually the drug thing.
We said we wanted to talk about it, but he said we should, because it's a very huge one. We'll still talk about it.
It's a subject on its own.
It's a subject matter on its own. But to the issue of, difficult children.
In parentheses.
I deliberately put it in parentheses because definitions generally... first of all, what's the origin of that term? Because I'm pretty sure you've heard it before.
Oh, sure, I have heard it. And I think it was born out of ignorance, wherever it originated from. And like we were conversing yesterday, what you don't understand, you're likely going to
label.
Yes, mislabel. And sometimes even mystify. And so I think it was born out of that mislabeling and mystifying that word. It's just like when people say, I have a strong-willed child. Do you want a soft-willed child? So where's the strong will and where's the soft will coming from? So, but if you have enough knowledge, one of the things you will likely know, which is, I think Ayo mentioned it, difficult to manage behaviors. And that's fair enough. So who is managing? Now, if you can't manage a particular behavior because you don't understand it, you would definitely term it as difficult. You get it. It's just like mathematics is perceived as a difficult subject. But the guy who understands math so well, looking at you, why would you say math is difficult? It's my favorite, it's my best subject.
Math is difficult.
Anyway, let's do it. So, the same thing with a child. If you don't know this child, you don't understand the child, you don't know the child's love language, you don't understand the child's temperament, you don't know the personality the child has acquired, you don't understand whether or not the child is going through childhood trauma, you don't understand whether the child is being abused, you don't understand whether there's an adult that is influencing that child and the child is expressing that influence by way of mimicry. And so what you see will definitely be difficult to handle behavior. And there's a metaphor I often use. You know this I better pass my neighbor generator. It can power 200 phones because the gen won't even know anything is going on. But the moment you introduce a pressing iron or a microwave, you just...
It will howl.
I've heard some reasons from what you have said. You talked about abuse, and abuse is a country on its own that has local governments. You've talked about trauma. You've talked about influence.
Yes.
You've talked about pressure. And
adversity, childhood adversity. For instance, a child is from a poor home. That is adverse enough. They can't find food to eat, the basics. And then the child goes to another home, maybe to watch TV. And there's a lot happening there because I came here to watch TV. That's difficult for some children to cope with. And they start to react and respond to just that sense of poverty that they are perceiving. That alone can trigger a lot of vibes from the child.
Is it possible to preempt the difficult to manage behaviors in children?
Preempt?
By that I mean the family, the parents know their limitations. They know their challenges. Just take the example of this poverty, for instance. They know that they don't have as much, and they know that their children will mingle with other children.
Rich kids.
Rich kids. Is there a way to preempt that, okay, this is going to happen, and then they should prepare their children for such experiences?
Well, it's possible. For instance, and this happens in church because the church is like a melting pot. It's a potpourri of all sorts. You have rich kids in church, you have poor kids in church. You have, good kids and, bad kids in quotes. And kids from all manner of backgrounds. Because if you go to an elitist school, almost all the kids there are from similar class. If you go to certain schools, I don't want to mention their names, all the children come from a type of home. But in church, it's usually where you find a mixture of rich kids and poor kids. Very brilliant kids and not so brilliant kids, and all of that and all that. So if you have a child from a very rich home sitting beside a child from a very poor home in church, there's going to be an obvious, that dichotomy will be so glaring. You understand? And if somebody is not noticing, that child can start to compare his parents with the parents of that child. And then that's where you hear things like, there's a joke we laugh about it, but it's a real fundamental expression of this whole thing we're painting now. The boy who told the father that he said the boy was passing by, and sorry, I'll try and remember this joke, but it goes thus. a father was comparing his son with another son who took first position in class. And so the boy, his own son didn't get an award. So he was chiding the boy and said, look at you, money, that's the children, the ones who, were given an award. So on their way home, a man drove past in a Porsche car, and the son said, Babani.
Yes, now. Yes.
So,
what goes around comes around.
You get it now. So there are kids who are silently rebelling.
Yeah.
And that rebellion, this joke encapsulates that rebellion. Where were you when your mates were making money?
I'm buying cars. we are on our Legacy's Benz.
And you dare tell me not to go out? No. You don't have the TV here. We don't have a cable TV. I want to go and watch TV, and you're stopping me. Okay? If you had one, I'll be in this house.
So it goes back to, my apologies, it goes back to the challenge of communication, doesn't it?
Yes, that's critical, but you also mentioned something that is important, knowledge. Do you know that your poverty, I'm sorry, but I don't have a better word, your lack of means, yes, maybe that's a nicer way to put it,
has an effect.
That's it.
On your children.
Yes, I'm sorry, but it is. These girls, poor girls who are on campus, who are preyed upon, it's a part of it. They're trying to get by because they come from a lot of lack. Now, I'm not saying that's a justification, but Kingsley, it is a reality that we're facing.
Some of them are not trying to get by. Some of them are looking for the extras because they see their friends. By the same token, there are some others who are in the same circumstances and are contented and are saying to themselves, I'm going to break this yoke of poverty. That's why I'm in school.
Can I give you a very picture? I agree with you. Let me give you this picture. How much is sanitary pad now? Don't mind.
Question.
I'll get to where I'm going, but I'm told it's about 600, depending on the brand. Do you know that some girls can't afford it? Real. They can't afford sanitary pad. 600, 700.
It's an essential.
Yes, it's an essential.
For a whole month.
Yes, Ayo. They can't. I know ladies, that is their project. They give out free sanitary pads to girls in public school. And man, it's a big deal. If that girl eventually graduates from secondary school and gets into the university, do you think something would have changed? It's just a question.
It goes back to the question of managing difficult children, so to speak. How, and this is job for parents. Excuse me, I'm aware of a school somewhere in GRA in Ikeja, Lagos, where the proprietor called the parents and said, we cannot do this without you, and you cannot do it without us. So we have to collaborate. So in terms of managing these so-called difficult children, what are the must-do, or what are the needs to do? What are the collaborations? What are the communication
that needs to happen? From my experience, let's narrow it down. A child is expressing difficult to manage behavior because there is a family member at home abusing the child. So knowledge is important. There's a book titled Why You Do What You Do. That is another example of how to, do you know this child? You have a child who is a sanguine. The child wants to go out, wants to express. And you as a parent, you don't even understand your child's temperament. And so whenever the child wants to express his or herself, you shut the child, you contain the child. So you don't know your child. And if you don't know that child, when the child is trying to express that temperament of his or hers, you see it as a difficult behavior because you don't understand it. You also have a child's love language. You have a child who, for instance, loves to be hugged. The child wants you to show affection by hugging the child, and you don't. And the child is craving for this. And in a bid to catch your attention, the child begins to throw tantrum. You don't understand still. You smack the child, you beat the child, and you eventually chase the child away from you. And the child starts to avoid you and stays in his or her room. And you term that a difficult child. And the next thing, from just that point, somebody finds that this child is lonely and starts to groom the child. And from grooming, something else can happen. And the least being...
For some ulterior motive.
Exactly. Now, the child starts to get... what I'm saying in essence is that what we term difficult behavior or a difficult child, they are symptoms, Ayo. They are all symptoms. And symptoms that you cannot interpret, that you cannot understand. And if you don't understand it, you can't respond to it. Then we also have, back in the day, we have children we call Olodo, right? Why are they termed Olodo? You don't know Jack. You're not intelligent. You're not brilliant. But today, based on knowledge, we now understand that dyslexia is a disorder that makes it difficult for children to learn. Dyscalculia is a disorder that makes it difficult for children to understand numeracy, numbers. Now, knowledge has improved to the point where we can now deal with these things. So the so-called children we call Olodos those days are now smart Alex because we've understood that there's a disorder, and this disorder can be managed. So, the same way, if you term a child difficult, you don't understand that child. You don't understand what the child is going through. You don't understand what the child is exhibiting.
So what do the parents need to do? We have just about 2 minutes for this. What do the parents need to do?
Knowledge is important, Ayo. We can't overestimate that.
Don't also forget that the parents themselves are under pressure.
Ayo,
and
knowledge. My people perish for what? Not for lack of dollars, naira.
Lack of knowledge.
It's a knowledge thing.
And Kingsley, don't forget that there is no parenting manual.
Yes, but there is knowledge. There's knowledge. No parenting manual means there is no widely acceptable parenting manual. But there's knowledge, there's capacity, there's competence. People have learned, have made mistakes, have burned their fingers, and they have a story to tell. Are you interested in their story? For instance, we know that a girl child has an affinity for her father. We don't need to contest that anymore. So, why there's no manual? But we have proven that over time that girls want to have a relationship with their father because there is a void in the life of a girl child that is created even by God. And the father-daughter relationship is meant to fill that void. So where there is no father, or there's a father and there's no relationship, I mean, it's only natural that the girl, we want to fill that void because she had nobody consulted her before that void was created. And so, because that void is sacrosanct, she needs to fill it. And she needs to fill it with a male, with relationship with a male. And who determines the right male that she's going to fill that void with? At this point, she's vulnerable. So any male that shows up and expresses certain interest in her, she's gone.
And mommy could come and protest and say, you can't go out with that guy, and then she begins to rebel.
And mommy is oblivious of the fact that this girl needs a man in her life. And that man is supposed to be the first man in her life, her first love, which is her father. So if that man is not available, she's going to look for a man.
Okay, let's call this part one. because I mean, this is...
As usual.
Because this I don't even know what words to use for it.
Parenting is not an easy job.
Parenting difficult. We haven't even spoken to the parent side.
People just have children and they don't think that there's a certain responsibility that goes with bringing up the children.
Can I describe it difficult, seemingly? Or we're out of time?
We are completely out of time, but we can do it in 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
When a child... Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
When a child stumbles on the father watching porn, and the child is
triggered,
disorganized, traumatized, and the child starts talking to the father starts talking to the child about morality, what will be the child's response?
That's a good place to hang it.
A child should never catch their parent watching porn.
That's a good place to hang it. We'll pick it up from there
That child
time.
will give you difficult behavior.
Essentially, you're saying that some actions trigger the children.
Oh, sure.
So parents sometimes trigger the difficulty in the kids.
Sure. You said it.
Okay, I didn't say it, you did.
No, difficult to manage behavior.
Okay,
not difficult child.
Okay. Kingsley Obomegulem, parenting coach, thank you so much for your time this morning. Gosh, this conversation is anything but over. We're back right after now for the home stretch. Do stay with us.
Bring it on, bring it on. You, bring it on. Life know the sweet though, hey. If some people know the hate too, so use the number 6 so and calculate. You go see the ratio. The beef self na me though, whether na asu them relate to. So bring your own crayfish, oh, we gon' mix, oh Lord. Oh, Shane and them talk say, we no go blow. Oh, Shane them they see us now, we don't dey glow. Take a look at me now, take a look at me now. We're running things in this town, can't you see? I don't care who you are, where you from, what you do, just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on. Are you ready? Are you ready? No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on. Are you ready? Are you ready? No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall and rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rise. Bring it on. This life is no easy. So much hustling and bustling. Everyone is struggling. So make you know they believe it. Since everyone is chasing, you're never gonna make it. Never say no, never give up. Keep your head up, standing tall. And for sure, you go turn it up, turn down for what? Shane and them talk say, we no go blow. Shane them they see us now, we don't dey glow. Take a look at me now, take a look at me now. We're running things in this town, can't you see? I don't care who you are, where you from, what you do, just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never.
Welcome back. Ashiri Comedy is a Nigerian comedian, author, and speaker. He's the founder of the Immorality Club. A hub for budding comic talents. In 2021, Ashiri, that's his stage name, but I will tell you his real name. He's actually Damilare Oluwasegun.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, ma'am. It's good to see you again. You know, I don't joke with you. I came because of you. There are some people, they are tall, I know they are dark, but I know send them. It's only you I'm seeing. As far as I'm concerned, only 2 of us are on air.
Ayo, what's your offense? What's your offense?
Attend to your guests. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah.
So,
am I hearing the sound?
Tell me, how did you get into comedy?
Everybody knows that one already.
I don't know.
You don't know.
And some viewers don't know.
Coincidence. It's just one of those things that happen by coincidence.
Tell me.
I just saw that I was funny and people were gathering around me. And then that was all.
You've been a lecturer, so in class too, you are funny like this.
It's normal now. You know, normally most Nigerians are funny.
You have been a lecturer.
I've lectured before now.
Lecturing which 4 children?
I lectured my younger sister when she was young. It's part of lecturing.
No, not that. I'm not talking about that one.
No, but I was a facilitator at some point. I worked for a firm that time that they do training, so I was one of their chief trainers.
Yeah.
You don't believe me?
Oh, my show.
So, you are pitying those students. Sincerely, they excelled. I even shocked.
Where did the idea of humorality come from?
You know, at the point when we started the morality, there was a lot of, that's the idea now, there was a lot of things that are happening because of humor. People try to do reckless things because of humor. So it's the morality in the humor. So that was what we fused together, humorality. Humorality.
The word is humor.
Humor,
not humor.
Eh? What did you say?
Humor.
Is it okay? We are on air. I didn't know. Okay, sorry. Do it again, sir. Humor. This is the sound. Hum. Like you want to whistle.
You wanted to get at me. This is
one,
my turn.
1-1 now. Go, let's draw. No, 1-1, go, let's draw. Mommy, sharp knuckle. That's it. So 1-1 on air. On air, Mr. Yo. You finish me on air. The word is humor. No problem.
Can you believe that this person here was actually, what was it again? He was enlisted as one of the top 100 Nigerian youth leaders for the Royal African Youth Leadership Forum.
Sorry.
2-1.
By the Oni of Ife.
2-1.
You know you pitied some people the other time. You pitied the children, Abi? I pitied you.
On live TV.
Point this one.
The Oni is coming for you.
2-1. It's purely merit. It's purely merit. And I'm grateful for it. His Imperial Majesty enlisted me, was it 2021, among several other top youths. Maybe I will recommend you this year or next year so that at least you two can join the Hall of Fame. 4-2. That was too good.
You are a youth. Yeah, I'm a young youth. That is a different category.
You are a youth with makeup.
Ashiri, can you believe that somebody actually came on this program and said that he was head of the youth wing? How old are you, sir? I'm 62.
Welcome to Nigeria. That's cut of irony. At 62.
Yes.
Well, that's a young youth.
Age is nothing but a number.
Youth by heart.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, Ashiri.
Yeah.
Ashiri means
secret.
Why did you adopt that as your stage name? What secret are you
secreting?
You know, you have to be with more of the experience people have when they hear me talk or crack jokes. Like, I realized that most people would just be like, Ashiri here, Ashiri here. So people started calling me Bobo Ashiri here, Bobo Ashiri here. So over time, it stuck. Then I now even found it in the Bible, Mark 4:11. It is given unto men. Hallelujah, somebody. Preach! To know the secret.
So that is the gimmick.
So that's why my last event was Open Secret in Lagos, the comedy special that I filmed for 1 hour 11 minutes. Open Secret. So it was 1 hour 11 minutes of revealing secret in a hilarious way.
What kind of secrets did you reveal?
Wow. I won't be able to say it because it's coming on the streaming channel soon, but I navigated topics from family, domestic violence. I talked about a little bit of the situation of the... No, I didn't do politics. I didn't do anything about... But I talked about domestic violence, family goals, discipline, and then commitment on part of youth. But all were encapsulated in humor.
And that was for...
Which is coming out soon. Going to be streamed.
That was in Lagos.
Yes, that was in Lagos.
But I heard that you are... I thought, has the one in Abuja also happened?
No, that one is November. Oh, for this one, I give it 22-4. You are following me. Open Secret is. So, after Lagos happened, Abuja people were like, no, actually, this is not good. It's not fair. So we are taking it to Abuja too in November 19.
So you are exporting it?
At Transcorp. But they are even getting another experience. You know, I did a special. I filmed a special in Lagos. They're having a concert. Ah, God. Go to the concert. Oh, Jesus Christ. See? We're having a concert. Allow me to be myself.
44-3.
That one has Ongo. I even saw
Ongo, exactly.
So we're having a concert in Abuja. We have a lot of music artists, Nice, a lot of online personalities, Tauma and the likes. So they are getting a concert in Abuja. We give them a special in Lagos.
Let me ask you this industry question.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, you are growing into that sphere now. You are already mentoring some.
Yes.
Your partnership with Wolia really were definitely something enviable. In industry question now, how would you rate or grade your sector of the entertainment industry now, the comedy sector, particularly in terms of entrenching institutions that can make it last?
Well, if I would rate the comedy industry, I would say the comedy industry, we really need to do a lot more, especially on part of our practitioners. Only a few practitioners are putting in the work. And the bulk of the practitioners are like pulling down those efforts. Okay. So I still believe that there's a whole lot we need to do.
Please help me understand what you just said.
Yeah. You know, comedy is no longer you jesting. Comedy is now social commentary.
Slapstick.
Yeah. Comedy is now social commentary. Comedy is now you lending your thoughts because people will naturally hear you because you're funny.
To contemporary issues.
So when time you go on that stage, it's not an avenue to yap people. It's not an avenue to be reckless. It's an avenue to be funny while remaining on the frequency of thought, on the frequency of intellect. So that's why I said, as some people are trying to raise the bar, some are dropping it down. So I believe until more than half of the industry understand this fact, then the comedy industry too will start. See Nollywood now. Nollywood is picking up. The music industry, they are there. Nollywood, they are getting us there. Comedy, I believe, if in the next couple of years, we are also very serious with our content, serious with our approach, we'll fly also.
How do you see your sector managing the challenge of copyright?
Well, every creative sector has copyright issues, but like I said, for me, I'll use myself as an example. When I started having the challenges of copyright, people using my jokes here and there, as far back as 5 years ago, I tweaked the way I performed so that the jokes I say, they're about me. You have to copy my name. You have to copy my experience to plagiarize me. That's what I do. Even when I put out newsletters, I use my stories. So if you are now still dumb enough to go and copy my story, so how do you tell my story for people? Because plagiarism works. See, most of the best comedians, Dave Chappelle, usually tells his stories. Trevor Noah, he tells his stories. There's a lot of content in your stories. All you need to do is to tweak it. That was what I did. I had that issue. One time I went to perform in Akure. Before I got on stage, one guy just called me backstage. Edmond, and I had some jokes. They have names. Did you want to crack Nibo? I said, want it, sir?
Yeah.
I said, that your Moses joke. Are you planning to say money yet? Want it, sir? That joke that you did about Obadidapo, are you planning to say want it, sir? Nah. Okay, wait, I wonder. So that was when I decided to there's an exclusivity in your own story. There's originality in your own story. So I don't navigate far away from my experience. So come and steal my experience now. Maybe we experience it together.
Okay, there are some people who want to hear your stories. Some people, how much of your stories did you tell in Lagos?
It was most of things you've never heard about me before. You can ask, go and check the reviews online. Open Secret Lagos, I was purely vulnerable yet funny. Like I told things about myself. I talked about my dad, talked about my stories. I did some hardcore stories about my wife, my foray into marriage. Things that I've never.
What if you have told them everything here in Lagos? What are you going to tell them in Abuja?
It's not possible. Experience no dey finish. As much as we are living, out of thy belly shall flow rivers of living waters.
It's not dey finish.
You want to finish me on here? Me and you? I plan to give you free ticket for Open Secret Abuja before, but forget. Mama, you and your family members, I'm giving you 25 tables. No, sorry, 25 people. Open Secret, November 19, only if I see you in my event in Abuja. come to my. I want to see him in
You
front.
see him in Abuja. He shouldn't even enter
They
Abuja
will
at all.
bounce him. Auntie, 25 tables. Only you. Mama, you are counting scores. What's this? What's our verdict now? Who's winning?
You are still winning.
Oh, God.
You are now 46.
Time for us to go.
Ashiri Damilare Oluwasegun, thank you very much for gracing our program this morning.
You're welcome, man.
We wish you all the best at your next program.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And that's Sunrise for this day. I'm Alero Edu, wishing you a happy week and see you next week.
I understand there is traffic going in and coming from Lagos now, but don't worry, you'll get to where you're going. I'm Aya Makinde. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Stay connected to the world with Channels TV Podcast and get all the trending stories. Simply log on to channelstv.com, click on podcast, select the program of your choice, and listen. Our podcast is available on Apple, Google, and Spotify. Tap the expertise you trust. Touch the stories that touch you. Anytime, anywhere.
Lights, camera, action, and showtime.
This is a big win for my generation of Africans all over the world.
You don't need no other body.
I want you to listen to me well.
The movies in the beginning was I was the lover man.
Some amazing talent in Nigeria who were born, raised, they never left, they're there.
Shawty want $1 million.
Watch entertainment news on Channels Television at these times.
Our website, channelstv.com, has more information on our top stories and others. Subscribe and watch Channels Television's live stream on YouTube and other social media platforms using your mobile device browser. Or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. You can also watch us via your smart TV platforms on Apple TV, Android TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Channels Television, ubiquitous.